Alright, this is my 5th video recording. The video about managing disaster, the speaker said that he enjoys emergency management because it's very easy to connect what he does, what he studies, what he researches with doing good, helping people, and that lacks in a lot of fields, but in emergency management there's a very easy correlation that you can make. He says a lot has improved since Katrina, but because of the scale of disasters like that, it's hard to predict and hard to deal with. So he doesn't think a disaster of that scale will play out any differently than it did. One of the problems with emergency management, which I think it was my 2nd or 3rd video I talked about, was emergency management is effectively planning and spending money on something that you don't know is going to happen. So that's why a lot of organizations, governments, people are hesitant to spend money on it. I use the example of a pothole in the road. It's an issue, you drive over it every day, but you don't see a hurricane every day. So it's easier for them to want to spend money on the pothole in the road. The video by Professor Roberts, he said that 87% of people get their information from TV. I looked up the video, and it was from 2013, so I'd be interested to see how this changes. I think the internet and social media would go up a bit. I know personally I don't even have a TV subscription in my apartment. And this chart at the bottom of the page, bottom left, I really appreciate this chart because a lot of the things I'm interested in are community oriented. So this chart is how you build resilience in communities. So the ties you have between community members help with disaster relief. So people rely on each other. So you know your neighbor. It's not just a random person. You have ties with them. You know their family. You go to like events with them, and that you are more likely to help them in a time of need. There's enough volunteers to help with a disaster, so you're more likely to volunteer if you know the people in your community, and the organizations are ready and prepared to respond. The organizations are made by the community members and serve the community members. It's also important for the organizations to know the community that they're serving, and then those strong ties between the organizations themselves, and all of those help build resilient communities. The TED Talk on deploying veterans, I thought this was very interesting. The speaker was a military veteran who created an organization for veterans to help in disaster relief. The problem with veterans coming back is a lot of them don't reintegrate back into society because they want to serve. He said 92% of people, veterans, want to still serve after leaving the military. So this organization gives them the opportunity to do that, as well as gaining self-worth and coming back into the community. My muddy point for the week was this graph on the right-hand side. I don't know if I missed some context, but the other graph I could understand, but this one I don't really know what a lot of these things mean. And my question for the class is, of course, about the graph, but how do we ensure strong community ties to aid in disaster relief efforts? Thank you.